Hi guys, welcome back to another art therapy prompt. Thanks again for joining us and participating. Today our prompt is called How Deep is the Feeling? And so we are going to start off by drawing a underwater picture. You get a lot of creative freedom in this part. And then once we have drawn our underwater picture, we are going to split it into 3 sections. And then we're going to talk about the difference between feelings and the difference between maybe a surface level feeling or a really deep gut feeling. So we're going to take it step by step, just as we normally do. And yeah, so materials, you're going to need the same stuff as usual: paper, pencil, eraser, and coloring materials, and of course your creative mind. And that should be it. So grab all that you need and then we will get started. Okay, so as I said, we're going to draw our underwater scenery first. So the first thing that I want you to do is draw the surface of your water. And it can be as wavy as you like, or it can be completely flat. So go ahead and draw the surface of your water. Do it closer to the top of your page because most of your underwater drawing is going to be on your page. So surface at the top, however wavy you want it to be. Good. And now we're going to basically draw what you picture to be under the water. So you can do some fish, you can do some seaweed, you can do some coral, whatever you like. There's no right or wrong way to do this next part. So go ahead and draw your underwater scenery, and then we'll come back and we'll go from there. Okay. Okay, so if you're still working on your underwater scene, pause the video, stay there, work until you are done. But if you are ready to continue, then you can continue with me. So this is just kind of what I've got for my underwater scenery. I've got a bit of seaweed at the bottom. I've got some coral, which is just random swirly shapes. I've got some fish, some jellyfish, a dolphin, bigger fish coming in over here, turtle. You guys can fill your underwater scene with whatever you like. Like I was saying, it's more about the creative freedom, this part. So there's no right or wrong way to do that. Now we're gonna move on. Actually, no, I'm gonna get you guys to color your picture first, and then we will move on to adding our emotions into that. Okay, so take the next little bit to color your picture, and then we'll come back and we'll start adding our surface level emotions. Oh, and just to note, when you're coloring, just color the stuff that you've added. Don't actually color the color of the water yet, because we're going to split it into 3 sections and kind of make each section a different color or a different shade of blue, just to kind of help distinguish it. Unless you don't want to do that, and then by all means color your water. But if you do want to kind of follow that guideline, then color everything else just not the actual water itself, okay? All right, so you've colored everything in your background like this, and you've left your water white for now. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna split our underwater area into 3 sections. Okay, so that means we're gonna do 2 lines across this way to make 3 sections. You can use a straight edge if you want, or just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be a perfect straight line. So take a pencil or a marker or whatever you've got and create 2 lines going right across to make 3 sections. So we can do that part together. All right, I'm gonna do pencil first, just in case. And we're just going to roughly split our page. As you can see, I've got a line here and a line here. And then once I'm happy with the lines that I've got, I can go over it with marker. Same for you guys. So I'm just gonna go over those lines and marker. Just like that. So we have 3 sections now for our water. All right. So the top layer is going to be the surface surface level or surface layer. So we can label them now if you like. So anywhere on your page, or on that top layer, you can write surface. I'm gonna write surface level. All right, so surface level. And then we have the midway. Okay, midway. Don't worry if you're writing over top of what you drew, that's fine. And then last up, we have deep down. Okay, so deep down for the bottom one. Deep down. Okay, so if you have, take a look at your coloring materials. If you have 3 different shades of blue, that will work really well. If you don't, start with your lightest shade of blue or the shade of blue that you have. You can also add purples into this, or even black if you wanted to do like blue, purple, black, just to get darker. So I have 3 shades of blue, and I'm going to color each section, the water now, one of those shades of blue, starting with the lightest, ending with the darkest. If you're going to use blue, purple, and black, do it in that order. Or if you have another idea or preference, by all means follow that. But go ahead and color your 3 sections, and then we'll come back and start adding our emotions to them. All right, so we've got our 3 kind of levels or depths of our ocean or our underwater scene. The colors aren't showing up super well, but anyways, you've got a light, a medium, and a dark color or blue. So now we are going to think about what feelings match which surface level, or how deep is each feeling. And this can be taken a couple different ways. And again, there's usually no right or wrong answer, so don't be stressed about that. The way I want you to think about it is a surface level feeling is a feeling that's easy to get to and easy to get out of. So if it's a positive feeling, it's a feeling that you feel quite often. It's easy to achieve. But if it's more of a negative feeling, then it's a feeling that you can snap out of quite quickly. It's not gut-wrenching. And then we move to midway, and these feelings are kind of in the middle of the surface and deep, so they take a little bit longer to get to and a little bit longer to get out of or to feel better after. But they're not those pit of the stomach feelings. And then we get to deep down, and that is where those pit of the stomach feelings are, those devastated types of feelings. So I have 2 kind of options for how you guys can do this next part. You can think of your own feelings and fill it in if you like, or I will list off the feelings that I'm going to use, and you can write them down and then decide where they belong, in which category they belong to. So I would write them down on a separate piece of paper and then kind of go through them and decide which one seems surface level, which one seems kind of midway, which one seems deep down, and then we'll go through it afterwards. Okay? So if you want to come up with your own words, you don't have to use the ones that I'm using, or feelings, but if you kind of want ones to go off of, then take a second here and just write down the ones that I am giving you, and then we'll fill it in on our page. Okay, so some feelings that you could use: disappointed, regret, happy, cheerful, uncertain, angry, unsure, content, heartbroken, worried, anxious, frightened, betrayed, cheerful, furious, excited, unsure, frustrated, and I think I got all of them. I may have said one or two twice. I kind of went in a weird order. But those are some words that you can pick from. And so once you've got that list written down, or at least an idea of kind of the feelings we're going for, I want you to decide which feeling or which feelings belong in which surface or in which level or depth that we have, okay? So take the last bit of time to kind of organize some feelings into each section, and then we'll come back and I'll show you where I put mine. And then if you have any questions on why you put one in one area and I put it in another, we can definitely have a conversation about it. Okay? Okay, so if you're done, you should have taken those words or some of my words and some of your own and filled each level with different emotions based on each of those levels. So I want to go through each one and kind of show you where I put them, and then this can open a discussion later on for maybe where you put them and what's the difference and all of that kind of stuff. So for surface level, for the top one here, so this is the easiest one to get to. We get to it quite often. It's easy to get into and out of. So these, for here, I put feelings such as content, pleased, frustration, uncertainty, and disappointment. For me, these I feel are emotions that I feel more often, but I also you kind of sway in and out of them. You don't get stuck in them as much. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but as you move from surface level into midway and then into deep down, each of these emotions kind of gets heightened into the next level. So for midway, I have feelings such as regret, hurt, anxious, worried, angry, annoyed, happy, cheerful. So all of these are kind of one step above what was on the surface level. Okay, so it takes a little bit more to get to these feelings, but it also takes a little bit more to get out of them. And then we move to deep down. I have feelings such as betrayed, ecstatic, frightened, excited, heartbroken, grief, and furious. So these are often the feelings that you find yourself getting caught in. That's why I have them amongst the seaweed, kind of getting caught amongst it. So it takes maybe the most to get there. It takes, but it also takes a lot more to kind of get yourself out of those feelings often. And that's kind of how I categorize them. So reach out to me and let me know kind of what you put where and if that makes sense or if that needs to be explained more. Again, there's not really a right or wrong answer here. It's more or less how you perceive it. But I thought it was kind of a cool way to categorize our emotions and how we get to each ones and what the different levels might be. And yeah, So that is our prompt for today. How deep is the feeling? So also, if you're trying to describe what you're feeling and you don't know how to describe it, you could say you're feeling a really deep down feeling. But yeah, that is everything for today. As always, message me, talk to me in person if you have questions or you want to talk about it. And yeah, I will see you guys again next week.